All right, good evening, everyone. It's your boy Young Link Jr. here. I'm gonna go out here and provide the news for the murder trial, George Floyd Derrick Chauvin trial, day one. And I'm gonna read what I have here, my notes, and also too, I'm gonna go ahead and just bring my opinion, maybe throughout the story, but I'm not gonna make it too long. So, then the jury saw Floyd's body go limp as he lapsed into unconsciousness and became seemingly lifeless. He died one breath at a time, said prosecutor Jerry Blackwell. You can believe your own eyes, it's murder, he added. Watching the recording was heart wrenching and gross. It was so atrocious that I ventured to say it would be impossible for any compassionate person not to be incensed and angry at Chauvin's actions, as well as his corresponding indifference to a human life. So Chauvin has a strange and defiant look on his face. It made you wonder whether that was hatred in his heart. 3. However, the Chauvin trial is extraordinary because the jurors are also witnesses. It's as if they were literally standing there as observers on the day Floyd died. They can see for themselves every minute and every second of what occurred as Chauvin restrained Floyd with a neck compression ignored in his plaintive cries for relief. The common sense that arises from this personal visual experience will dictate the jury's verdict. The recording presents powerful and compelling evidence of wrongdoing by Chauvin. Jurors will be given 3 criminal counts to consider. Second degree murder is a felony assault resulting in death. Third degree murder is a dangerous or reckless act evincing depraved indifference to a human life resulting in death. That's, just before I continue, this is what Derrick Chauvin's lawyer is trying to get at. They wanted to get charged for the third degree murder. Originally he was arrested, and then he was there in prison for like a few months, and then he got released from bail. But I can't say this is first degree murder because it wasn't premeditated. But the second degree murder, yes, he did take his life, and then using excessive force. But we're going to get more into that. So second degree murder is manslaughter. It's a negligent act that creates an unreasonable risk resulting in death. The recording supports the charges, which is true. The question is not whether Chauvin intended to kill Floyd, only that his actions were intentional. Here again, the recording offers valuable evidence. Chauvin is seen as calm and deliberate as he kneels on Floyd's neck and maintains pressure on his airway for more than 9 long minutes. The officer's actions were the definition of willful. To convict, jurors must decide the defendant's fate unanimously and beyond a reasonable doubt. While this burden of proof is formidable, so as the incriminating evidence against Chauvin, the officer has multiple opportunities to de-escalate the situation. Yep, they sure did, and they decided not to. All 3 or 4 of them was just standing there. At any point in time, he could have lifted his knee and turned Floyd on his side to allow for his lungs to expand. That did not happen. Yet, Chauvin continued to compress Floyd's neck and constrict his airway even when the suspect lay unconscious and motionless on the ground. Yep. So, within the first minutes of the recording, Floyd was under control and not resisting. There is no struggle. That's when the force applied by Chauvin should have stopped. Use of force methods by police must always be necessary, proportional, and reasonable. Lethal force can never be used to meet a non-deadly threat or aggression. This is the standard in Minnesota and elsewhere. So it goes to show you what I just read is that he violated one of the police ROEs, one of the police protocols when you are detaining or a civilian or you making an arrest. Because once you have them in handcuffs, that is your personal responsibility whether they get injured or not, man. That's what you under their they're under your custody at this moment, so he should know that being in 19 years as that's what they said as he has this as a career, he should know that was very obsessive. Even if he decided to kneel on his take a knee on his neck for like a minute, I don't condone that at any at all. Even if he did it for a minute, he was just like, all right, dang, what I'm doing, okay, think he learned his lesson, help me get him up, let's throw him in the squad car and keep moving forward. But no, he decided not to do that. So it goes to show you had hatred in his heart and some intent. But let's keep moving forward. Very unprofessional. In proving causation, prosecutors have a major legal advantage. They do not have to convince jurors that Chauvin's actions were the sole cause of death, only that his behavior was a substantial factor in bringing about Floyd's death. At no point did Chauvin render aid or abide by his sworn duty to uphold the sanctity of human life. He portrayed his badge, said Blackwell. While the credibility of medical experts and how well they hold up under vigorous cross-examination is important, it's not nearly as important as what the recording of Floyd's death tells the jury. To put it plainly, does it look like the defendant is killing the helpless and immobile man on the ground? Does it look like Floyd has stopped breathing and is either dead or close to death? I'll read on. Prosecutors will call the Minneapolis chief of police as the principal witness on department policy. Chief Mardaria Arradondo is expected to tell the jury that Chauvin's use of force was both excessive and unreasonable. He will explain how it's contrary to the training that all of his officers receive, including Chauvin. The defense promised jurors that they will hear from their own expert who will claim that Chauvin did exactly what he was trained to do over his 19-year career. It will be hard for jurors to believe any expert who tries to justify the appalling behavior that is seen on the recording and seared forever in their minds. There will also be a battle on the cause of death. The medical examiner, Andrew Baker, concluded that Floyd died when his heart stopped due to oxygen deprivation beneath the pressure of Chauvin's knee. In opening statements, the defense asserted that a fatal level of drugs combined with pre-existing heart condition is what caused Floyd's death. In proving causation, prosecutors have a major legal advantage. They do not have to convince jurors that Chauvin's actions were the sole cause of death, only that the behavior was a substantial factor. Okay, can read that. So in the case of Derrick Chauvin, the shocking digital recording of Floyd's death is more than enough to convict. The truth can hardly be doubted when it's witnessed by a jury. Seeing it is believing. And that's all I have for right now. I don't want to bombard too much, but this was like a long day, and this is supposed to be the most anticipated watch view juror, and you know it's no surprise because this is a result of May 25th of 2020 when George Floyd died. We had all these riots going on. We had these riots in Minneapolis. A lot of these major cities started falling up, and a lot of anger you can see. And the Black Lives Matter movement was very prominent, and you had maybe Antifa coming in there. It was pretty bad in a way, and people was destroying the neighborhoods. I kind of understand why they did it, so I'm not bashing them on that. But at the same time, man, they had to get this right. Because we think about the Breonna Taylor, the George Floyd got the $27 million settlement, the family did, but that no amount of money is going to really satisfy, and they're paying to the point that they will have until they get justice, man. They need to have this man locked up because you need to send a message. And at this time right now, it's very pivotal. You got people rioting at the Capitol, people will do anything. So at this moment, very smart. If they give them a petty sentence, and this game is getting warmer now. Talk to my grandmother about this. It's getting towards the summertime. If they don't get this right, it may be a potentially another riot. And then you gotta ask yourself, do you want to put your law enforcement, your other officers, your good officers under that kind of stress? Are you willing to be one of the cities to spike up even more COVID deaths? Do you really want to go that route? Do you want to go that route, saying the National Guard again? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to, maybe have potential casualties? Who knows? So you have to think critical on this. Got the evidence. You've seen this all on video. Saw witnesses there. Man should do life. Personally, if I was a judge or attorney general, I'd give him life. And this is not even about skin color. This is about being responsible, having responsible and accountability at the end of the day, man. Your profession. So it was completely wrong. So hopefully they get this right. I think this trial is going to last maybe 2 or 3 weeks. We'll see. But that's all I really have to say. This is your boy, Young Join. You guys continue to like, comment, subscribe, share this video. I'll probably do another one, day 2, get some more information, start reading more about it. But tell me what you guys think, man. I know some people might disagree with me. Some people may agree with me. But I'm just speaking from the heart. He needs to be on trial. They don't have the death penalty in Minneapolis, but at the end of the day, you can't justify this action. You can't justify and sit up here and say, oh, this third-degree murder, he had drugs in the system. When you restrict someone's airway, even, they not even have, medical issues. They probably had a heart attack, a few years ago, or they probably passed out. It doesn't give you the right to go out here and start kneeling on someone's neck or doing anything that can expedite they're freaking to the point that they can't breathe. And he said it multiple times. He can't breathe. He can't breathe. He can't breathe. So he didn't even mention any type of drugs. So at the end of the day, they got to get this call right. But it's your boy Elite Junior. You guys like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Deuces.